Subscribe, like, follow, and share. Sige na please, Miranda. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you the one and only, the voice that introduced Pitikin Kita sa Ilong, isang hampas na lang ng palakol, the power of yet. Please, let's give it up to our Pambansang crypto coach, Coach Miranda Minor.
Hello. My name is Coach Miranda Minor, and welcome to another edition of our cryptocurrency technical analysis, fundamentals, exclusive interviews, and everything about crypto all in one channel. Our live for today is about an educational live that talks about one of the most interesting, promising token that we have out there, and we have one of their community leaders to discuss to us what's the coin all about. What are the things that we need to know from a narrative perspective? Obviously, this is not a hype live. This is a conversation where we're going to be discussing, we're going to be getting the narrative of the coin and why is this a potential addition to your portfolio at this particular point. And of course, we're going to be diving into this topic with you joining us in your questions. Mga kameranda, so wherever you are, I think most of you are in the Philippines. It's evening there. And people who are watching me from the Middle East, I'm actually here in Dubai. So if you have any questions, please don't forget to click on the comment section and type them down below to join our conversations, mga kameranda. It's too early, the time, so we're still waiting for a couple of folks to join, but let's not belabor this point and let's continue our conversation already, mga kameranda. All right, so there you go. So let me just try to pull up my guest for today. By the way, he is the community leader. I call him Mr. F in the show. And again, if you have questions, please type down below in our community box. Let's go and pull up on the stage. Mr. F, how are you?
Hi there, Miranda. Appreciate the invite. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're here to speak about, a very interesting narrative, a very powerful narrative that we've seen on Ethereum, and kind of, revive the whole meme coin craze that we missed from last cycle. Some of the craze that we saw last year with Nero, coming back to life, on Ethereum, which is a very popular chain for this sort of narrative, especially related to Pepe, related to dogs. And, personally, I think it has all the right ingredients to do very well. So, yeah.
All right. Absolutely. If you don't mind, I just want to have a very quick background about you, so at least our community can get to know just a little bit more about you, Mr. F. So how long have you been in this? Because you spoke about, a little bit of a meme coin craze that we missed. I'm assuming you have been in the industry for a lot of bull and bear cycles already. Talk to us about what do you do and how long have you been in the market, Mr. F?
Yeah, absolutely. This is my second cycle in crypto. I joined last cycle, and the first thing I kind of got into was meme coins, because the kind of the way meme coins were advertised was that you could become rich very quick. So I was a 19-year-old that assumed that I could do that, and then I kind of had a very bad experience, and then I was thrown into the deep end to where I had to take leadership, network with new people, and since then been very in love with building communities, seeing projects do very well, and overall just really enjoy connecting with good people, trustworthy communities, people with good intentions, and just doing awesome things. So yeah.
I'm happy you said that you thought meme coin can make you rich.
Yeah, that's the way it was advertised on TikTok, on Instagram. Everyone was talking about Shiba Inu, Dogecoin. So you think it's very easy, right? Until you enter the deep world of DeFi and decentralization, and you realize it's kind of a lonely road. But if you're able to network with the right people, it becomes a very powerful tool, a very powerful skill set to have. Yeah.
No, speaking of connection to the right people, I'm just showing the ZEUS community. Obviously, from the word itself, community, there's a lot of people behind it. What got my attention is I saw Pepe in the picture, and you have a dog that's with a very rainbow-ish looking tongue with a necklace of a frog.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so please talk to me about this. Walk me through the origin of Zeus. And by the way, that the community has a CC8 hashtag because there's a lot of Zeus around the corner today. So what you're discussing is the Zeus with the CC8 hashtag. Why was it inspired by the Pepe's dog? Please talk to us about this, Mr. F.
Yeah, correct. So Zeus has been attempted many different times by different people within, this cycle and last cycle. It's a very popular narrative because the way it's marketed, as you said, it's marketed as Pepe's dog, and people, like to build a relationship and latch onto something, and envision how far something can go, right? And in terms of this cycle, Pepe has been the biggest coin to launch this cycle, right? Launching in the bear market, and in a way, kind of reviving crypto, bringing that degen liquidity, that meme coin liquidity back into the play, and going to 12 billion all-time highs. And we've seen a lot of Pepe derivatives launch throughout this cycle. This whole cycle, we've seen Pepe ideas launch. We've seen the Boys Club narrative, huge meme coins like Brett, Landolf, Andy, all go to high valuations. So this is a very popular narrative. But the reason why this one hasn't been executed very well is because it hasn't been able to secure the owner and the artist, right? So Zeus himself, there is two very important ingredients that come to the Zeus narrative. There is the owner of the Zeus dog, who is Jagged, and there is the artist of the Zeus dog, which is the artist Andy House, who is based in Thailand. And these two guys, owner and creator, have been able to support the community and get behind something very powerful, making this, the first and last Zeus coin to ever receive this sort of authenticity, this sort of trust, and overall, securing IP rights. And the reason why I'm very bullish on these sort of ideas is that, I'm an ETH maxi myself. Even though we've seen Ethereum have, quite, somewhat negative sentiment so far, I think Ethereum is definitely primed to at least go back to all-time highs, right? And what we've seen previously is that whenever Ethereum goes to 4,000, Pepe, reaches new all-time highs. And this is history. This is historical facts that you can go and backdate yourself on TradingView. You can ask ChatGPT. Every time Ethereum goes to 4K, meme coins on Ethereum mainnet, such as Pepe and SHIB, always go to new all-time highs, new local highs. They all revisit them. And what we saw recently was Ethereum was able to surge 20% over the course of 2 days, and Pepe was able to double that, even more, by reaching 55% in the same window of being 2 days, right? So what we have there is Pepe is seen as a much more faster investment vehicle than Ethereum. And this makes sense because obviously Pepe is a lower market cap, but because if Ethereum is gonna, appreciate by 10%, then it's only logical that Pepe will appreciate a lot quick, a lot quick, a lot quicker because lower market cap, a lot more easier to move. It's more volatile. A lot of traders, a lot of degens, a lot of speculators in the market, they love volatility, they love opportunity. I'm sure a lot of us leverage trade as well. So we keep seeing historically that Pepe is able to appreciate much faster than Ethereum, right? And we all know the significance of dogs on Ethereum, right? We've seen SHIBA, we've seen Floki, we've seen Nero, we've seen other very strong dog coins launch on Ethereum, and it's kind of always been known as the dog chain, right? Which is why this narrative is very huge, and then it's shown us from history that these sort of plays can go very high, within the right market conditions. Which is why this year so far, we haven't really seen that many powerful narratives, right? So far, Q1, January, February, March, April has been really slow, really dry, not much liquidity in the market. Trump coin kind of, caused a local top for Solana ecosystem. So really and truly, I think this is the most powerful meme coin we've seen this year in terms of how high it can go, how relevant it is, and how familiar people are with it. And I like to call it the best beta to Pepe. And people think using the word beta is quite bearish, but the word beta has been used a lot in previous meme coins and it's very bullish, right? So if you look at SHIB was marketed as the Dogecoin killer, right? Last cycle, I remember it. You know, thousands of people saying, we want to overtake Dogecoin. We want to kill Dogecoin. We want to go surpass Dogecoin. And it did, right? It flipped Dogecoin at around 40, 45 billion. Um, and then we have, you know, Floki, which is Elon's dog. So it's latching onto Elon Musk, you know, huge tech savvy billionaire figure. You know, and being Elon's dog, right, is very powerful because Elon is a very powerful person himself. You know, he holds a lot of power within crypto. You know, Tesla holds a lot of Bitcoins within its balance sheets. And last year, what we had as well was another meme coin called Nero, right? And the reason why Nero took over last summer, I remember it very clear, you know, over August and September, was because Nero was the next Dogecoin, right? So the Dogecoin dog, Kabosu, right, passed away sadly. And then Kabosu Mama, the owner, she adopted a new dog. And everyone said, wow, like this is the next Dogecoin. You know, if Dogecoin can go to 100 billion, why can't Nero? Right? And Nero went to 1.2 billion, you know, went on Binance Spot, all these incredible exchanges. So now we have Pepe's dog. So what we're seeing here is very familiar concepts, you know, in terms of relationship to very big ideas, very big memes that have proven to do well. So yeah, that's, you know, a quick fundamental analysis on why I think, you know, we have a very special gem on our hands that can do well within the next few months.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thanks for sharing us the story, Mr. F. I just realized someone asked a question. If you don't mind, I'll insert this question here. By the way, if you, can you type one if you can hear me well, Miranda? I know that there's a little bit of problem in my camera, but I'll make sure I'll restart later on. But going back to my question, someone's just a comment, Mr. F. Someone made a comment. Um, why is it that Pepe's dog looks scary? It's not scary for me. Is it looking scary for you?
No, I wouldn't say it's scary. You know, if you look at Jagged's Twitter, which is Jagged Soft on Twitter at Jagged Soft, he's the owner of ZEUS, right? And ZEUS is a very very cute dog, 11 years old. And if we dive into the artwork and the illustration that we're seeing with ZEUS, right, it's supposed to replicate Matt Fury. So Andy House created this dog, and it was almost, you know, as a gift to Matt Fury in a way, because what we see is that Matt Fury is very big on love, peace, and, you know, humanity. That's why you see the rainbow mouth. You know, with the pierced earring, Matt Fury has a pierced ear himself, and then a Pepe necklace, because obviously Pepe was Matt Fury's creation. So we see a lot of key ideas, a lot of key concepts that are very familiar, very popular with Matt Fury. You know, being you know, funneled and being created around ZEUS, which makes it very marketable, right? Because people were able to build that relationship with Pepe.
Understood, understood. And I'm actually sharing to the community right now where can they find the legitimate social media handles to find that scary dog. No, but I don't think it's a scary dog, right? So I sent over the link tree in the chat room, mga Miranda. All right, so let's now move on to another question that I have today for our Miranda viewers. The next question is, you're familiar with the narrative divine chaos. How did that identify or shape the identity rather and branding of the token? And we recently saw a surge of around 76% on the price of ZEUS. So are those, so two things, the branding, identity, and there's a little bit of a price surge in ZEUS. What's driving that? What are your thought process on that, Mr. F?
Yeah, so in terms of, you know, the price appreciation that we've seen within the chart and the market cap, I think this is because of a few reasons, but I'll list the main reason that I think why we've seen this. The way ZEUS spawned, the way it was created, was that it was created in the trenches, right, in the private chats. And when I say the trenches, this is a term that's used within crypto, where it's like, you know, ground zero, ground one, in terms of finding the earliest gems, you know, at the lowest market caps possible, right? I'm sure everyone listening here is part of different alpha groups,
I
alpha
think
communities.
I think I got disconnected. I apologize. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, please. I just a little bit of second there, but I'm back. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, amazing. So yeah, ZEUS spawned from the trenches, right? It was shared in different, alpha chats, different private chats, different trading circles at very low market caps, such as 300k, 500k, sub 1 million, right? And this is very typical behavior that we've seen within the largest meme coins in existence. If you go to CoinMarketCap and you click on memes, right, all of the top 10 memes in CoinMarketCap history have all been able to be, available to be a part of, available to be bought at low valuations, right? So it allows a very fair advantage, a very, free for all opportunity for everyone to participate within a meme coin. And these are core ideologies that I believe that make a successful meme coin, is allowing anyone and everyone to be part of it. And what this does is that it allows the poor to become rich, right? And this is an idea that Murad himself talks about with SPX, right? The idea of someone being able to turn $10 into $1,000, into $10,000, into $100,000, right? But what you're doing within this process is that you're allowing, people to come in and become core believers of the project. They believe in it, right? Let's be real, right? When your investment goes up, you're a lot more likely to be active within the community, right? And if you're going to be more active, you're gonna love the idea, you're gonna love the narrative, you're gonna share to your friends, you're gonna share on Twitter, you're gonna share within your Telegram chats. And this is key ideas that we've seen across all meme coins that have done well in history. They've all been available to be bought at low valuations. And this is why we saw, a very stable, very smooth chart appreciation from 200k to 25 million in one leg. And since then, we've seen the chart, breathe, disbelievers leave, new liquidity comes in that actually believe in a project. And time again, we staircase up, we build strong floors, and the chart overall looks very exciting for people, right? If you open a chart, you want to be able to think, okay, cool, if I buy here, right? One, I'm safe, and two, it's a good entry. And this is the power of Ethereum, is that you're able to build communities, build longevity, and actually build real holders. And I don't see a better chart than ZEUS right now out of all the Ethereum meme coins that we've seen this year. It's very stable, it's very friendly, and it's very predictable, right? Investors and traders love being able to predict a chart. That's why we leverage trade. That's why we invest, right? Because we think, okay, cool. If I buy at $1, I can sell at $2, $3, $4, right? So we want to be able to think, okay, cool. Am I early here? Right? Is this a good level to buy in and to be part of it? And these are all things that have been able to accumulatively aid the narrative, being able to sustain interest, right? Which is very hard, right? Being able to sustain interest from investors and speculators is incredibly hard. But that comes down to the narrative, right? Which is why you talk about divine chaos. And in terms of chaos, we haven't seen more chaos than ZEUS, right? As you said yourself, there are multiple ZEUSes that have tried to vamp and try to, take over this one because people are, for whatever reasons. But time and time again, we see this community, uh, withstand, their FUD attacks, withstand their hate, and all it does is makes the ZEUS CC8 community even stronger, right? It builds conviction, it builds strong holders, and that's what we want, right? We want everyone to be a part of it, to be actually, believe in the narrative, believe in the community, and believe in the vision, right? The same way we had with Shib, with Pepe, with Floki, with Nero, right? You could have bought those meme coins at any level, right? Sub 1 mil, sub 10 mil, even sub 500k for some of them, right? But most got shaken out because they didn't believe, right? And now we have the same narrative with the same ingredients, with the same concepts in terms of being a fair advantage, right? So now why would you mid curve, why would you fade an opportunity like this where we've seen time and time again, history has shown us that this can do well, right? So these are some core points that I believe in, and why I think time and time again we're seeing interest being maintained in ZEUS, because it's had a very successful way of launching and a very fair way of launching, which we haven't seen, this cycle so far, right? We've seen different Solana coins, celebrity coins, country coins, KOL coins, right? But the best meme coins don't rely on KOLs, don't rely on celebrities, don't rely on, being insider pumped. It's all about building true communities with true holders and true believers. So yeah.
So it's interesting because the divine chaos, I think the chaos is affecting me now. I'm being booted out by the connection. Can you hear me well, Mr. F?
Yeah, I can hear you well. Your voice is perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm actually sharing the chart, intraday chart of ZEUS, and I've shared it to you earlier. I was able to buy on that bounce at around 13.8 earlier, so I earned good money there. Let's move forward on some of my questions here. So why, so it looks like you're promoting the ZEUS token through a community, right? And we have seen the other tokens are also successful in a community driven approach, right? So from a community perspective, it looks like almost all tokens are already in circulation for ZEUS. What should traders understand about the tokenomics of ZEUS, Mr. F? I'm curious to know about the tokenomics of ZEUS today.
Yeah, absolutely. So the tokenomics we have with ZEUS are the same tokenomics that we've seen with the biggest meme coins, SHIB, Pepe, Floki, Nero, in terms of liquidity is burnt. So the liquidity will always be there, right? The keys have been sent to a burn wallet. The dev has sent them. They can never be touched. The liquidity is safe. We have 0-0 tax. So to buy and sell, it doesn't cost you anything, right? The LPs on Uniswap, which is the leading swap and DEX on Ethereum, and there's no VCs, there's no unlocks, there's no team allocation waiting to dump on you. Everything's very decentralized, and throughout the chart, like I said, if you zoom out, you'll see the different chart, the different chart structures, right? People are leaving, but new money's coming in and replacing them. And what we're seeing there is disbelievers leave the project and core believers are coming in. And this is important for conviction. This is important for community building, is having guys that believe ZEUS can do well at different valuations. And the same, I know a lot of people that saw Pepe at under 10 million, under 20 million, but didn't bid when it had all the right ingredients, right? I've seen people fumble generational wealth by not bidding, Floki, Nero, SHIB, because they all thought, it's too high, right? But what people fail to understand is that people like to bid established growth in established communities. They don't like to bid, new narratives, degen narratives of that don't make sense. You want to bid something that's established and that's safe, right? So when September comes, when traders come back to their desks, when banks, are back open and functioning, we're seeing liquidity flows on ETFs. People are going to bid what they see already, right? That's already been through many different weeks of testings and tribulations and capitulation points. And yet again, that aids to the whole, tokens, that aids to the whole tokenomics in the sense that there's no hidden unlocks. All the supply is in circulating and everything's very transparent.
All right, so let me just repeat that. So the keys have been burnt already. There are no VCs that can dump on you. So I guess my question is, some people are asking where can they buy, because there's a lot of other ZEUS there. So where is it available right now, Mr. F?
Yeah.
Can they still buy, or there's no more?
No more. Yeah, so it's currently ZEUS is listed on a few small exchanges, such as you can buy in MEXC, Assessment Zone. You can buy in L Bank. You can buy in Poloniex. You can buy if you're a DEX buyer, you like to buy on the DEX market. There's obviously there's the Uniswap pool. There's apps such as Phantom that make it very easy to swap. Apps such as OKX Dex Wallet make it very easy to swap. And yeah, those are the easiest ways to buy. I think the best way for your users and your community to go to the correct links is by going to the Twitter. So on the Twitter, you'll see that there's a link tree in the bio, and within there you have all official links. So yeah.
I bought it in OKX Dex earlier. I bought it in the bounce, confirmation of bounce. So it was at 0.138. It's at 0.143 already. I'm showing it in my screen, Miranda. Again, do not buy it because we're hyping you. So please make sure you understand the token. You have stop loss to it. Don't put everything in your life on it. And I'm sure Mr. F will agree on that, right? So you plan your trades and you allocate well and you have your risk management. So I'm just showing to you my screen earlier. How did I buy there? So basically, you're seeing where I bought at 13. I'm a trader, Mr. F. So basically, where I bought was at this particular bounce. You're going to notice that there was a support at around 0.3128 and around this particular candle. So you have the bounce and you have multiple bounces here. Along this area is where I bought. There was a confirmation of bounce on that particular candle. And right now, my position is already almost 6.34% increase. It was earlier, there was a retracement, but it's around 10% on the top. My stop loss is around below 0.13 because this is where your support is. So basically, the price of the coin today is bouncing on this particular support area. Can you please make sure you promise, Miranda, that you're going to create a proper trade plan on buying this coin? Type number 1 if you understood what I tried to say. Type number 1. Okay, what is the address? I'm going to put here in the chat room. Make sure you understand. I will make pitik of you if you don't understand. If you don't Mr. High, follow. Then go ahead, Mr. F. Anything you would like to add there?
Yeah, I think the easiest way is if you go to CMC and if you search ZEUS, you'll see ZEUS Pepe's dog, and the contract ends in CC8. What you'll see across Twitter is you'll see ZEUS CC8 on different tweets, and the reason why you're seeing the figures CC8 is because this is the end of the contract. It is a marketing strategy that we've kind of instilled in the community to make sure people are buying the right one if they choose to be a part of us. And yeah, you make a very good point about investing what you're willing to lose and being very sensible within your decisions and within your trading strategies. I think whenever I like to speak about ZEUS, I always try to focus on the objective and historical information that we've seen in previous successful meme coins and focusing on that. And I always say to users, feel free to investigate yourself, dig into the narrative, dig into why, narratives like this tend to do very well, and build, the thesis yourself, right? Don't just rely on my words. Don't just rely on what I'm saying. It's good for people to do their own research and build just overall, just doing their own research and investigating themselves. I think that's the best way to build a very strong community, is when you have independent thinkers that are able to think for themselves and make judgments on their own record.
You're right, and I'm actually also sent the contract address in the chat room. It ends with CC8, Miranda. I'm showing it in my screen as well today. Thanks for that reminder, ZEUS. ZEUS. I'm calling you ZEUS now. Sorry about that, Mr. F. All right. Yeah. Why Mr. F? Interesting. Anyways. Yeah, so another question here is, So you have list. You said no. You have Poloniex, Gate.io, Bitmart. Even Lbank. Now listing ZEUS. How did that affect your liquidity? And I also saw the famous trader in X now also adding some ZEUS token, right? I'll not name his name, but there's a famous person who's shorting and buying in millions of Bitcoin. But how is this adding to the liquidity and visibility of ZEUS? I'm sure it's adding value. And then just a follow up on that, right? So a Pepe whale invested $1.8 million in ZEUS. So I'm sure it adds confidence and credibility. Maybe you can itemize to us, any other famous people that is already in the project, if you are able to do so, Mr. F.
Yeah, so we've seen, very reputable, very famous traders, like you said, back the CC8 community and back the vision, right? We've had, support from the Landwolf community on Ethereum. We've had support from the famous trader, which you said, which he famously made 40 million on Pepe. He bought 100K into the chart on his doxed Ethereum wallet, which was the same wallet which he made the insane gains on Pepe. We've had, other very, smart accounts, ex-tech leads at Coinbase, guys that have worked at Microsoft, BlackBerry, IBM, talking about the narrative because they understand that, ingredients like this don't come about often. So it's always good to talk about them and create discussion around that. And I think when it comes to exchange listings, the ones you named, it's always good to list on these exchanges because sometimes on DEX, it can be quite overwhelming. It can be quite hard for new people coming into the market to bid on DEX and have to experience, uh, very hard interactions on MetaMask, for example, Uniswap. They're not sure what they're clicking. They're not sure what they're requesting. It's better off they go to an exchange like Gate, like Poloniex, and just buy through there, knowing that they're safe on a platform that's regulated and very easy to do. And I think what that does for the token is increases brand awareness within those particular regions. So exchanges like Gate, Poloniex are very popular in Asia, very well known for being very friendly to bid on those exchanges, and thus promoting or not promoting but increasing holder growth, and that's what we want, right? We want users to be able to be a part of the token for incredibly cheap, from a transaction fee standpoint, and be a part of this movement, thus increasing the community members, increasing the belief of the coin, and this is what we see, for example, in Pepe, right? Every single day in Pepe, you see extra 400 holders growing every single day, and that's same for us, right? If you go to holder scan and then you copy and paste the CA into holder scan, you will see the holder chart constantly go up. It hasn't gone down in a long time, right? And this is, people adding to their bags, joining the community, wanting to be a part of it. And these are all successful ingredients that we see with meme coins that are, continuously building, continuously growing, no matter the macro conditions. So,
Very good, very good. And as what I've said earlier, I just added ZEUS in Mexi, and I got 2,000% there. Interesting. Anyways, just a little bit of comment, Mr. F. Let me just try to close my camera for now. A little bit of comment there, Mr. F. Someone just said, can you still hear me, Mr. F? Can you hear me?
yeah, loud and clear.
Perfect. Someone said that they got interested on your picture in your profile. Do you like Muzan?
Yeah, I'm an anime watcher myself, right? And yeah, I just
Muzan
said,
Kibutsuji.
yeah, Mirzan is from anime called Demon Slayer, right? So yeah, I watch Demon Slayer here and there, and yeah, it's just part of the branding, Maybe I'll change it in a month or so, change it to something new. But for now, it's Muzan.
Yeah, the community is asking that someone from Demon Slayer is already trading.
It's good. It's
Yeah,
good that you have a very active community that you know very in touch with
I have
anime.
a young
Yeah.
community. Some of them are very young and they love animes. Yeah, all right. So
Nice.
I guess let's talk about the long-term vision for Zeus by the end of 2025. Well, it's a bit of a short-term vision, end of the 2025. And is there a formal roadmap on the future utility of the coin aside from it being used in the community level?
Yeah. So I think um, let me dive deep into the IP and why the IP is very powerful, right? So as I said, you have the owner of the Zeus dog, Jagged, um, who also supports Matt Fury by holding $2 million worth of Matt Fury NFTs, rare NFTs. And Matt Fury, who is the creator of Pepe, follows Jagged, who is the owner of Zeus, right? And then we have the artist Andy House. She's from Thailand, very skillful artist, amazing work. She is the creator of the illustration, and both of those people are supporting this Zeus CC8, and they are on board and they're making art and doing amazing stuff for the community, right? And what we saw was Jagged, he handed over the IP rights to Zeus to this community, right? So this Zeus CC8 is the one that has the IP rights for Zeus. And IP is incredibly important, right? Because we've seen how, when Matt Fury interacted with Pepe, he legitimized it, right? And by him legitimizing Pepe, it made it the one and only, right? Going to multi billions. And now we have the owner and the artist legitimizing this particular Zeus. Out of all of the Zeuses in the market, they have chosen this, right? And because they've chosen this particular Zeus, this makes it the first and last Zeus to ever exist, right? Therefore, in terms of longevity, in terms of how long lasting this coin is, right? This is a multi-cycle play, right? That's it. There will never be another Zeus because there can't be another Zeus. So when you look at the narrative and how uh, you know um, bullish everything is in terms of the relationship to Pepe, being Pepe's dog, etc., right? Think about all the new money that's going to come into the market, and they're going to look at narrative, they're going to look at coins to bid, and they're going to see, okay, cool. I see Pepe's dog. Okay, let me do more research. Okay, wow, they've got the owner and artist on board, right? And this is something that's never happened before since Pepe, right? We've seen Brett, which is marketed as Pepe's best friend, go to $2 billion with no IP, with no official rights from the creator Matt Fury, right? But here we have the creators and the artists of Zeus fully on board. And we know that Matt Fury is friends with Jagged. He follows him because Jagged has supported Matt Fury by holding $2 million worth of his NFTs. So there's a very close relationship there between the two, right? Making it, in my opinion, the, the most powerful narrative since Pepe, right? Let's face it. We haven't seen anything on this scale and magnitude in a very long time. And I think in terms of roadmap for the IP, something we saw that was posted on the Zeus account a few days back was an art DAO, and what we saw was um, someone within the Pepe community created the Zeus artwork piece, and the team decided to bid for artwork from the deployer wallet and actually purchase that artwork from him. So what we're creating here is uh, an environment where we are rewarding artists for being creative, and we're actually giving value back to them, right? We've seen time and time again that coins are being created without giving value and monetary value, especially back to artists and creators. But it's that's an incredibly selfish way to go about it, right? Like, why would you do a coin and then exclude the people that created it, created the idea, created the artwork? It's very selfish. So here we're seeing an art DAO being created by Zeus, right, which will help artists earn money, right, and be a part of it. And because they're earning money, they're more inclined to keep creating artwork, right? Memes are all about art, they're all about entertainment, they're all about graphics, they're all about animations, right? And I'm sure all your anime fans understand what I'm talking about here, right? It's all about making meme coins incredibly fun, entertaining, and incredibly bullish. So that's something that is going to be explored a lot more from the team. Is going down the IP route and art DAO, trying to think of ways to monetize Zeus and give more value and more love back to Jagged and Andy House, who were previously excluded, right? No one wanted to give back to them, right? None of the previous Zeus coins ever did anything like this, right? They were too selfish to do this. But now we have this Zeus actually willing to give back and create a, everyone wins, everyone eats. This is these are core values in meme coins where everyone is able to win, right? And this is something that we haven't seen this year so far with KOL coins, celebrity coins, influencer coins. Is that it's always been retail and normies that have been the exit and get the bad end of the stick, right? That's why I call capital extraction. But now we have capital generation, right? Capital is being generated for people, and people are actually winning, right? So we're seeing a change of events, and this is why it's Zeus is a first mover in that kind, and will hopefully changing the landscape in that particular field. So yeah.
I
I
was
think you're
talking to
muted.
you. So yeah, so that was awesome show. We have been talking for already almost 42 minutes. Very, very educational. I like that we're giving back the IPs to where it is due, and I like that because obviously it's a good business practice, right? I think on this particular show we're able to walk through what's the tokenomics of the coin. Keys have been burnt, right? And all has been, there's no VC involved. All tokens are in circulation. There is obviously there is a roadmap, on the particular token, and just remember, Camerana, the token address ends in CC8. There you go. All right, and of course, there is a community-driven approach on the token at this point, and I think it's important. All right, at this point, Mr. F, I would like you to invite our viewers. Where can they learn more about the token? Where they can go? Like for example, you said CoinMarketCap. What are your social media channels at this point? And please invite our Camerana to everywhere in the world to follow you guys in your social media. Please go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to I'm typing this out as I do it. If you go to Zeus, so Zeus coin ETH underscore, right? On Twitter, the handle is at Zeus coin ETH underscore. There is a link tree in the bio with all the links, and you'll see it's titled Zeus Community. What we will do is, yeah, there it is. It's on screen. So yeah, you'll see that there's a link tree there. That's the best way to have people go to the official links. Always be careful. Always know what you're clicking. If you struggle to find it, maybe we'll do what we'll do is we'll have the official links within this video description, so users don't get lost, users don't get confused. That's the best way to do it, I think, Miranda, is have the links in the bio of this video once it's uploaded.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm gonna be I want to say thank you so much, Mr. F, on being part of our show. And as I've said, after the show, I'm going to be talking with the community to do technical analysis, or in fact, I think I could do it in a few. The community is actually asking a couple of questions. Please comment down below if you have any other questions, Miranda. Someone said, is this a good token to hold? That's a question, Mr. F. What are your answer to that?
So the token's been out for a month now, right? And throughout that month period, we've seen different pumps and different retracements, right? And every time we see a retracement, we see people willing to bid it up and be a part of it, right? We've had multiple retracements, and price always seems to recover and go beyond, local highs. So I think in terms of, timing, entries, just kind of go with the flow, right? I can't tell you when to buy, when to sell. My main thing is talking about the narrative, talking about the story, because that's the main, talking point, right? Is I don't want users to look at the price and think, okay, cool, this is a good price. I would rather me educate your community about the narrative, they understand what ZEUS is about, and then that makes them bullish, right? You will see that the way we talk about ZEUS on Twitter, we never talk about the price, right? Because price is irrelevant, right? Especially given how high other boys club characters have gone in terms of 200 mil plus, 2 billion, Pepe 12 billion, right? Talking about the price at 16 mil is there's no value to that, right? It's all about talking about the narrative, talking about the story, why this coin out of all of the meme coins that you see in the market. And your job as a trader is to find something that's undervalued and to sell it when it's overvalued, right? That's a simple job of a speculator as an investor, is to buy something when no one's talking about it, to buy something when it's undervalued, it's going sideways, it's an accumulation zone, and to front run the liquidity that we might see in Q4. So yeah, that's why I say to anyone is, when they say when to buy, when to sell, is you have to kind of use whatever metrics, whatever strategies you use regarding that. I prefer to stick to the objective information, such as, the narrative, what the project is about, etc.
All right. On that note, thank you so much, Mr. F. I'm going to call you now Mr. Fantastic.
Okay, amazing,
okay.
Amazing.
I'm going to call you Mr. Fantastic already, because you are a fantastic guest, and thank you so much for educating our community. All right. Someone is asking, can I buy this using Phantom at Solana?
So this is on Ethereum, so you can't use, you can use Phantom, but you have to, make sure you're buying the ZEUS that's on Ethereum, not on Solana, right? So what we will do, Miranda, is we'll put in all the official links within the description of this video, so that your users are going to the official, websites, official socials, so that they remain safe and don't end up in other fake ZEUSes on the market.
Upper Deck said, I'm going to buy ZEUS, coach, as long as you're the one who recommended. It's for sure profit. I profited when you recommended Trump coin before. Hoy, hey, don't do that, Kauha. You buy not because I recommended. I will take your ilong. Okay, you don't do that, ha, Kauha. You also, of course, you plan your trade. Your plan. Do your own research. Right? And do not put your entire net worth into one coin. You diversify your risks, right? I'm not responsible if you lose on this coin. I will pick you on your ilong. Yeah. So I will pick on your nose. I will pick your nose. Joke, just kidding. All right. Good comment. All right. So someone said I'll just watch the replay. Very good. Okay. Make sure, guys, you plan your trades and you trade your plan. Okay, I think there's what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you're right, Mr. F. Mr. Fantastic. I'm going to be adding the link of the necessary social media channels and the contract ID in the description of this video. So thank you so much for that reminder. All right, anything else you'd like to add, Mr. F, on this show, or any other parting words?
Yeah, just thank you for the opportunity for coming to speak about ZEUS here. Try to keep it as educational and informative as possible without talking about price, when to buy, etc. I think, whenever it comes to meme coins, it's always good to talk about the objective facts, the on-chain statistics, the holder growth, the narrative points. That's what creates long-term conviction and believers. And for me, that's what's important, is people that believe in long-term and are able to hold. So yeah, appreciate you allowing me to come speak here, and appreciate it, guys.
All right. On that note, I also agree with you. Let's stay with facts. Let's stay with the numbers. Let's stay objective. I really, really appreciate you, Mr. F, because you never did say anything to hype the community, and I think that your point that really makes what projects to be trustworthy, right? So we just allow them to do their decision. We tell them these are the numbers, and we even showed the charts earlier. Again, if you have questions, Miranda, please go ahead and go follow the social media channels of ZEUS. They're actually on the Ethereum chain. And I'm going to show again the screen today. I'm showing the ZEUS community in Twitter, and take note that they have a Linktree link in the in the heading, right? And you see that a little bit of that caricature there on the banner. You have hashtag CC8 because the contract address ends in CC8 Miranda. And again, the narrative, obviously.
I just sent you the link to the Twitter in the chat here.
Perfect. Yeah. So the Twitter, I've also sent that in the community chat room as well. So the https:/x.com/ZEUSCoinETH _. So just make sure you guys follow that or check that link. So just be very careful. There's a lot of ZEUS token out there, and you might get misled. This one is in the Ethereum network. All right.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you again, Mr. F. Have a good, pleasant afternoon there in the UK, and I wish you all the best, and see you around in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Thank you. All right, so Miranda, that's actually our show for tonight. What's my opinion on this? So again, it's up to you. Like what we have been saying, Mr. F and I have been saying, it's up to you, Miranda. Let me just do a little bit of charting on the token. Let me just quickly share to you my screen. All right, you're going to notice the coin has just started in, this one is in L Bank. Is the token, right? Make sure you have stop loss, huh? Make sure you have stop loss. Take a look. Miranda, oh, I'm just showing my screen right now. There you go. So make sure you have a stop loss, and make sure that you have an entry point. No, from a trading perspective, you have multiple touches here, right? I like that there's a multiple touches, and of course you also have multiple retests. The coin is very, so a potential is a bounce play position here. Stop loss needs to be somewhere within this area. So in case it retraces, you have a stop loss there. And then you can continue, and then another potential position is above this area to here. No? Another potential buying zone is on this particular area, Miranda. So this one can become a good bounce opportunity area. Just make sure you have put a stop loss somewhere here, and of course you use your confirmations. With your MACD is going to confirm already, so just make sure that you know that from a system perspective as well. As I've said, there's a good opportunity above this. We need the confirmation candle above this area as a potential buy zone on this particular token. So just make sure you have a stop loss. Do not go all in. I'll be the one to make pitik of your ilong. Okay. Sige. Alright, so walang ito na nga. There's no ito na nga. Ikaw talaga. Okay, sabi ni Charmy, please plan my... No, I will not plan your trade. You listen, ha? You listen from charting. Ay, nako ka, Miranda. Okay, we already have answered this. It's actually on Ethereum. And there you go. Use the address and find. So just take note of that, Miranda. All right, that's a charting that I have today on our particular coin. All right, any other questions? Bernie, type number 1. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Make sure that you're not, again, you do your own research. Read the disclaimer on the bottom of the screen. What I like about this discussion is you have Mr. F going on the facts, right? And we have talking about objectives, right? The numbers. Now it's up to you, Miranda, on trying to understand where can you potentially buy this particular coin. All right, again, type number 1 if you will do your own research, Miranda. Marami pong salamat sa inyong lahat.
You are listening to Coach Miranda Miner in his daily crypto live.
All right, I'm going to be right back for another live. Hold on a second. I'm going to a different channel, different show. But again, thank you so much again to all of our Miranda viewers. Thank you again to our guest, Mr. F, for a wonderful show. Thank you for staying objective and understanding that we want to stay objective and we want to stay focused to the facts. Again, thank you so much. Good luck to ZEUS token, #CC8. I love you 3000 at paalam, pansamantala. Salamat po. Bye-bye.
Subscribe, like, follow, and share. Sige na please, Ka Miranda.